Sup? Welcome to Tales Tomorrow. I'm Morrow, your storyteller for today. Here with me I have some more RPG horror stories. Alright, everybody spill the beans in the comment section. What has been your latest guilty pleasure as of late? Mine's been playing gacha games, particularly Ark Knight Enfield, dude. I just can't wait till I not Ark and end in the field. What? Anyway, what has been your guilty pleasure as of late? Let me know down in the comments below. And don't worry, this is a safe space so we can talk about this stuff. I may judge you only a little bit. Let's get some RPG horror stories for today. We have a 4-hour planning session for a BBG so we can get carried by NPCs. Oh boy, I'm playing at a D&D table where we're all doing Call of the Netherdeep. DM is a bit of an old duck. They try, but they're very much a Matt Mercer's God incarnate and the greatest DM who's ever lived type of critter. They generally do a good job, though they're probably not as Matt Mercery as they think they are. However, the prior session was not one of their high points. There's nothing wrong with wanting to emulate style of Matt Mercer or other DMs, but it was also important to remember you are not Matt Mercer. You are not... God, what's his name again? I forgot already the name of him. I had to pull up a list specifically just to make sure I remember them. I mean, I should know them by heart, but I just suck with names. Anyway, what I'm trying to say, guys, you are not a Matt Mercer. You're not Brendan Lee Mulligan. You're not Chris Perkins. And you're definitely not Matthew Colville. You will never be any of these people ever. What you can do is be the best you can be. There's nothing wrong with wanting to emulate someone else's DMing style and incorporate their little tricks and things they do into your own and make it your truly own. It's just trying to run up a wall, basically. It's literally going to be impossible to try to be like some other DM out there. The best thing you could do is just be yourself and do your best. So we gotten up to the Aboleth fight in our campaign at level 9. After the campaign had been going on for nearly 3 years, DM loves planning sessions where we will spend entire 4 to 5 hour sessions planning on how to tackle the next BBG fight. The Aboleth had been hyped for us for some time, so naturally we had a planning session for this fight. I detest these sessions. They're almost all about table discussions with little roleplay and utter slough to sit through. I do my best to be a good participant as I know it will lead to the zany hijinks of watching a plan go totally tits up. One of my favorite things about D&D. The other thing is that DM loves the DMPC. We have a small troop of 5 to 6 NPCs that always seem to be closely involved in our adventuring. Are they adventuring with you guys? 5 to 6 DMPCs? That is too much. Oh my god. Assuming you're a party of 4 or maybe 5, I think it's reasonable to have one DMPC that is tagging along with the party in some assisting way. One. And even then, they have to be heavily nerfed because they're playing the support role. Otherwise, I don't think you should do that sort of thing. I genuinely don't think you should do that sort of thing. For example, I currently have a side campaign that I'm playing in the Final Fantasy D&D campaign conversion where the players, let's say for example, if they don't have the full party of 6 players, can in fact hire a hireling adventurer to actually go along with them. And that hireling adventurer is heavily nerfed, heavily doesn't have any class features except the bare essentials, basic needs. You know, spellcasters have spells, specific spells to their class. Certain classes that are similar to the Final Fantasy classes like Paladin or Barbarian have their obvious features plus like modifications to make it more canon and less player specific focused, but at the end of the day they're literally just a stand-in to play a support role and nothing more. But if your party has a 5 to 6 tag-alongs with you, oh my god, that is too much. I can't even imagine managing this many people. That's a whole ass player party managed by your DM. That is insane. In this campaign module, there's a rival adventuring party consisting of 5 NPCs. I joined quite late, a year ago, so a good bit of the background and involvement in this story is lost on me. Naturally, as our rivals, we found them close on the heels of our Aboleth. While they're supposed to be a rival party, our party somehow ended up befriending them, and we got their help for the BBG fight. All 5 of them. So the showdown with the Aboleth arrives, with help from all 5 of the rival party. Our party has 6 members itself, so we start this fight with an initiative order with 13 freaking characters on it. DM controls each individual rival party member. More than half of this combat is just watching DM play by themselves as the PC party stands around. Second fiddle to NPCs. It has got to be one of the most boring fights I've ever done. Naturally, the rival parties utterly nuking this thing. Us PCs are struggling a bit without dice rolls, which could have been some awesome tension if we didn't have a band of OP NPCs to take care of the entire fight for us. Of course, you NPCs are going to be able to handle your fight. You are the one who designed it. Brother in Christ, you designed the fight. Of course, your party of adventurers is going to be good against this sort of thing. If you're going to make this kind of a behavior, if you're going to have a party of accompanying NPCs, make him incompetent at least. Like, I get it if you want him to be kind of tough and stuff, but you can't make something like this just to outshine the party. What are you doing here? You're not just there just to play for yourself and having the players be the audience. Your players are the main cast. They should be the ones fighting the aboleth, and the rest of the NPC adventuring party should be weak enough to be able to take faults and hits and maybe fighting some minions on his side just to raise up tension. Nerf him a little bit, make him a little bit weaker, maybe make him a little bit, I don't know, make the rolls a little bit fudged up. I don't know, you can fudge the dice as a DM. You can make him just miss. If you just, let's say for example, do blind rolls and stuff, you can just make him miss or having a struggle fighting throughout the whole thing. Hell, you don't need to roll the dice for them. You can just narrate exactly what happens on their turn and then let the party get back to actually playing the damn game. Maybe some of them take some damage, others do a little bit extra damage. One cast a spell but the saving throw failed and stuff. Go from there. Like some sort of narrative middle in there just to kind of raise the tension without making the players feel obsolete. This is a horrible thing the DM is doing. It's terrible. And of course, the DM has to close the session with a quick snide of, "It's funny that the Morrow adventuring party ended up almost all the damage. You know, I had to quadruple the HP of this boss fight to balance it with all these NPCs. Feeling a little testy, I couldn't help but to jab back, "Hey, I did like 90 or 100 damage on my last 2 turns and got the killing blow." They simply responded with, "I guess." If a DM just wants to play with a bunch of DMPCs or write a book, don't have a bunch of players just literally playing there, or play a Baldur's Gate or any video game, anything at all other than having actual real life people being stuck there, sitting and watching NPCs take their turns. Do you know how horribly boring it is and awfully just mind-numbing it is to just, dude, as a DM even, I don't even give myself like 30 seconds to make the moves for the NPCs and enemies and stuff. I do it at 15 seconds, max 20 seconds, but otherwise the moves are done unless there's some sort of like a rule check that I need to look up in midway accidentally, because I accidentally forget how specific very unique niche feature works or something. But aside from that, I'm trying to do my very best to make sure the players get their turn ASAP as soon as possible, and everything else just gets to keep very high tension for the sake of the players. To abandon the players in such a horrible way is just, man, it just sucks, man. Your DM sucks, dude. I would play with this DM. Or hey, make a simple ground rule. Only one DMPC can be present in any encounter, not 5 or 6, only 1, and that's it. That should be the cutoff. That should be a standard for every DM out there. Only 1 DMPC and that's it. Everything else got to be enemies and stuff, and that's it. That's the best way. That's the best way to handle this moving forward. Let's continue with the next story for today. How to return to D&D after year-long hiatus and depression, only to deal with a DM who treats the players as competition and teammates getting enjoyment or watching us suffer and gets no harsh treatment. I'm not gonna list names or even make up names here, nor will I drag this out unless I have to. So let's get straight to the point. I have a DM in a D&D campaign which I started getting back into playing D&D, starting with that campaign, and dealing with so many issues and thus a long hiatus that treats his players as if he is competing against them instead of guiding them, as a DM should do. What do I mean by this? To put it simply, there have been multiple circumstances where he tried to either mortally cripple or kill his players in the most non-BS way possible and having us make us work to getting a win against him. One of the best examples in a campaign where we have to go against not 1, but 2 legendary creatures and need to capture one of them. My character in question is a full-fledged healer, and a damn good one at that. So much so that I can get other players up from quarter or half health to almost full, not completely full, thanks to a combination of Starry Form Druid and Life Cleric multiclass. Nice! In fact, I was doing so well in healing, the DM decided to do the legendary monster's legendary action, which allows it to act twice and unleash a devastating attack that nearly wiped out my entire party, I'm assuming, myself including. They managed to get out of it unscathed by half health and due to me rolling poorly, which felt like it was rigged because we were using a Discord bot the DM specifically set up. I barely got out of this dangerous attack with only 5 HP left. I was about to heal myself up till DM pulled a non-BS saying that monster can go again. Flat out downs my character. Gotten so bad I legit didn't attend the next session where my character is dying. Need to make death saving throws until my brother, who also plays D&D and is attending to this same campaign as I am, and another teammate, which we'll get to momentarily, and got my character back up, but just barely. Oh man, yeah, no, dice sometimes can just suck, dude. Like, automated dice and stuff like that is well and good. If you guys want to just use Discord dice and whatever, that's completely fine. For me, I use VTT Foundry, and we just roll dice on there. And when we use Foundry, I keep all my rolls out in the open, all of them. And I understand some DMs might be looking at me saying, Morrow, that is dangerous. What if an enemy crits one of your player characters? What then? What are you gonna do about that? And you know what? I simply let it happen. The dice decided, and there's a story to be told, and that's what is going on right then and there. If a player natural ones, the natural one. If an enemy natural ones, the natural one. Same thing for players. If they crit, they crit. But if a monster crits, it crits. Simple as that. Everything is out in the open, nothing is hidden. I don't think I ever do even hidden rolls unless it's with some sort of a story narrative, just to make sure that players actually get to have their little narrative moment and get to have something uniquely special for them. Like maybe, I don't know, let's say if a cleric is trying to commune with their god, but then, you know, level 8, they don't have any way to commune with a god specifically, but they want to just get maybe like a prayer in and see if they can sense a sensation. Sometimes I make them roll a hidden D100 just to see what happens, and then afterwards I reveal to them the number. Sometimes, depends. It kind of just builds tension for the sake of tension and allows me to be able to tell a narrative storytelling while keeping the mysteries, like the roles a mystery sometimes. Roles being mysteries for the sake of fun is great, but needing to keep roles mysteries for the sake of fudging stuff. I've had a bad experience with certain DMs trying to fudge things against me, and it was really BS. Like, let's say for example, the enemy is constantly rolling natural ones, but the DM is saying, oh, the NPC or the monster rolled a 20. Oh, it rolled a 20 again. Even though in the logs I can see immediately it's like 2 natural ones back to back to back. So I don't trust hidden dice anymore, which is why I keep them in the open. Either way, bad dice rolls just suck sometimes. Unless your DM is fudging the dice with a Discord bot, bad dice rolls just sometimes could just suck. You just gotta roll with the punches. Random number generator games, guys. That's all it is. Gotcha games. Everything is random. Random. Haha. Anyway, let's continue. I was told that my brother got so much crap for taking control of my character when I did not want to attend, and I owe him and the teammate, again, get to them in a bit, so I told to start kissing the other teammate's ass. Now regarding the teammate, I have mentioned multiple times in the same sentence and what have you. This teammate is a freaking troll and is getting favoritism by the DM because they're both cousins. You can already know right away what exactly he is doing. To put simply, they think it's funny that our character dying and watching my anguish is drop dead hilarious to him. And when I left the group and didn't attend the very session where the character was saved, this teammate before and after this incident thought it'd be funny to make everyone miserable because it was a joke. Best example getting a nat 20, and this teammate chimes in with, I cast silvery barbs, and does this all the time along with numerous other crappy, but the silvery barbs joke is his most well known and infamous known as that. That just sounds like a sucky player. If they're silvery barbsing the other player characters, that sucks. That's PvP. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, no, I would rule that as it's PvP. It's the same thing as casting hold person on party member. You have to solve these kind of things outside of it, and DM should honestly draw the line and say, no, you cannot silvery barbs them in this situation. That's going to screw them over. You're trying to ruin the fun. Stomp that. Players that get kicks but trying to ruin other people's fun are problem players, and you should remove them promptly out of the game. I mean, if you want to say, you know, if you want to give like a 3-strike system and say, knock it off, you do it again, that's strike 2. Honestly, for me, I just don't even bother with it. If somebody's trying to go out of the way to ruin somebody else's fun and they fully are aware of that's what they're doing and that's their purpose, I remove them out of the game. No strikes, no nothing. You either just don't be a dick or just don't play here. Simple as that. It sounds kind of harsh and mean, and you know what? Maybe it is, but so far I never had to kick anybody out. So far everybody seems to fully understand that we're here to have fun and have a good time, but they understand my boundaries and they know that I'm not gonna mess around. It's okay to make boundaries. There's nothing wrong with having boundaries, and if you're not gonna tolerate some sort of behavior, you don't have to tolerate some sort of behavior. Just like I can choose not to tolerate problem players being problem players and trying to ruin other people's fun for the sake of their own fun. I don't know, maybe I'm being too harsh. What say ya? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'm gonna continue with this story. 1. I don't take jokes like that lightly, especially since I, the player, have to play with a DM who treats his players like they're a competition to him. 2. They do this all the time and has been asked numerous times if he is really gonna cast it, which he says, not really, yet, just to see minds and other reactions and laugh his ass off when I clearly show distress on my character dying in the most non-BS way possible all the while being stupid on purpose to get my character mortally injured if not killed. You're talking about non-BS, but I think it's actually kind of the opposite. I think it is BS. I mean, you have a player, you have a DM that specifically is going out of the way to pull some sort of BS things on you guys. I don't know why you mean BS. I think you mean to say it is BS, the most BS, not non-BS, because what your DM is doing is BS. It's specifically pulling things out of their hat just to screw people over and just to down players. And then you have another dickhead playing, dickhead teammate, not really much of a teammate at this point, but they're basically playing like a jackass, like a clown, like a class clown that's trying to be a jester, trying to go hee hee hoo 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 hoo. What if I cast several barbs? Hee hee hoo 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 hee hee. Man, wouldn't that be funny if something like that happened to his character? I bet he wouldn't like that. He probably wouldn't be laughing at that. I mean, if he did, then, I mean, fair game, I suppose. But he probably wouldn't be laughing if that was happening to his player character. I don't know, man. Honestly, I haven't finished the story all the way through, but my conclusion is this DM and players suck. You shouldn't play with them. Better, greener pastures out there. No D&D is better than bad D&D. But let's continue. Maybe it'll turn around. Maybe I'll be surprised. And even more insane is the fact that this teammate gets treated really well by the DM, which I deemed it unfair. My last session is another case of my character attempting to getting killed off by the DM again, and this time it might be for good. I'm sick of dreading for attending to a D&D session with the DM, wondering what non-BS way he is gonna try to cripple or kill off my character in the most non-BS way, while his crackhead constipated sounding like a teammate is sounding back and laughing his ass, while ruining any highlight moments later, such as getting a nat 20, and jokingly casts silvery barbs. I'm sick of all of this. I was gonna tell both of them, DM and the cousin teammate, off. Do it! Tell him you're leaving. Tell him you're not putting up with this. Just quit the game. Dude, this is just a bad game. This is just a bad disaster of a game. DM is a dickhead. Your teammate, their cousin is a dickhead. Don't play with crappy people. No D&D is better than bad D&D. Honestly, like if you're dreading coming to the next session because the DM is so harsh and the teammate is such an a-hole, don't play with these people. This is not worth it for you. This is not worth your time and patience that you're investing into it just for you to be nervous and stressed over it. D&D shouldn't be stressful. Like, okay, there's some moments where it can be stressful, but it should be a fun stressful, not actually like negative stressful. If a TTRPG is giving you actual stress, something needs to change, and you should probably quit the game or just stop playing that specific game or stop playing with those specific people. And I think in this situation, it's the people that are at fault. Stop playing with these people. No D&D is better than bad D&D. Find a different game to play in that's not gonna have such a brutal DM and a crappy teammate too. But you know, that's beside the point. I already stated that the teammate sucks. Problem player, problem DM, problem player. Get out there as soon as you can. And with that, that's gonna be all our stories for today. I want to thank you very much for watching, and thanks so much for being here. If you like what I do, consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like. Also, if the RPG Horror Stories ever goes down, or if you want to submit your own personalized horror story, email is down in the description below. I'll see you again in more Tales Tomorrow. Bye-bye.